What's going on, guys? I figured I'd do a quick video on this before I start getting really into it. So I picked up an Astro City 2. Now this thing is nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice. But I have some complaints on it, but we'll cover that here in a little bit. So I picked this up from a YouTuber, Steve Wright. He's big in video games, and he had this candy cat for about a year and a half, and he was looking to get rid of it. And I was looking to get one, so our timing kind of matched up there. And he came over and he saw one of my Namco Blanc cabinets, and he wanted one. So we worked out a trade for that, and so I ended up getting this, and he got the Namco Blanc. I got this, though, in not working condition as far as the monitor. The monitor will not turn on. When you turn it on, it makes that boom sound, you know, that loud CRT sound that they usually make, that magnetic type of sound, like boom. And then you can feel the static on the screen for a few seconds, and then it goes away. So that kind of lets me know that there's an issue with the high voltage side of that particular chassis board on the CRT. And honestly, I don't have the right tools to really work on it properly. And then I've been told Nanao, the Japanese Nanao chassis, they're a little bit more finicky. You need like more specialty probes to really test those high voltage circuits properly. And so luckily, through my networking, I found a guy locally that could work on it and hopefully get it fixed here in the next couple of weeks. So I took it out and sent it in right away. So that way that can get sorted out with time while I get other stuff sorted out in the cabinet. So now, funny story, getting this cabinet, not this cabinet was easy to get. Getting a Blanc cabinet to go into Steve's house was a crazy story. So I really wanted it. And it was like 10 o'clock or 10:30 by the time I got to his house. I had to load it in the van. So I got a Sienna van. I took out all the seats, and then you drop seats, and then you have most of the Sienna to fit it. The Sienna van has a clearance of over 7 feet when you drop all the seats, all the way up to the front seats. So you have a clearance of 7 feet to fit this thing, because this thing is 7 feet tall, or a little bit over 7 feet tall. So to fit in the Sienna van, you have to lift the back gate. You have to drop this thing all the way almost flat, and then you have to slowly reverse your van to make it fit, because when you're dropping this thing, it's because it's so tall, it's going to bump with the back of the door. So I had to do that by myself. So what I ended up doing is there's metal brackets on the back, so I laid it flat at an angle and put like wood to hold it up, and then I backed my van at a certain point to where I could, remove the wood and then drop it on the back of the van with some blankets, and then I slid it in the van. So you can just picture that by myself. So I get to Steve's house, and then we have that fiasco. He has to help me pull it out of the van, and then we get at a certain angle, and he gets in my van, the driver's side of the van, and then pulls out the van. That way I can just hold on to the cabinet and then lift it up, because it'll touch with the back tailgate of the van. So we got it out. So we're like, okay, we worked out that. We're all sweaty or whatever. We get to his front door, and we try to push it in just like this, laying it flat. It's too wide. His door is too narrow. It's not like I have a tall and wider door. His is just a standard door for his front door. So it won't fit like this. So we had to put it sideways, lay it on its side. I was worried we were going to break the acrylic. Luckily, we didn't. We laid a blanket on the door, a big smooth blanket, and then we laid it down, and then we pulled on the blanket and pulled it in his house. That was a lot of work to get it in his house, but we got it in, got it set up. And then I needed to get extra tools to go back home. But then I forgot something else, because we were moving the van and all this other stuff was going on. We left the van doors open. We left the headlights open, turned on and all that. So the battery died on my van. I guess my battery was starting to go out on that thing. So my battery's dead on the van. I can't turn it on. So I'm like, well, you're going to have to take me to my house, because he drives a Tesla and he didn't have jumper cables anyway. So let me drive to my house, bring my other car with jumper cables, and I'll come back and jump my van, and then I can be on my way home. So he takes me to my house. I get my other car. We both drive back in 2 cars, his car and my car. I jump my van. He gets in my van. I get in my car. We drive back home to my place. And then I put him in my car and then drive back to drop him off. And then I go home. So that's a musical chairs event to get to that happened that night. So I didn't get to sleep until like 2 in the morning. So regardless, It was really interesting, but it was a pretty funny night. Regardless, we got the cabinet. You know, we got it in the house. I got home, just pulled in, and then I just, like, in the morning, I'll put it in the house. So like I said, I get home, put it in the house, and now we're here. So now I've taken off the monitor, set it to get restored, and we're happy with that. So I found a guy. Luckily, whenever you are working in this hobby, if you do really good work, you'll get noticed, or you meet people that like what you do, and you make friendships, relationships with other people. And luckily, they know other people that can work on this stuff, because this is a dying hobby. Not dying in the sense of people don't want to play it, but the parts are dying, like the PCB boards, the CRTs. This stuff is going to die eventually. You know, who knows how much time we have left for this stuff to work. And then the people that used to work on this stuff either have retired, they're too old to work on it, have died, or if they are still around, they're so busy with working on other people's stuff because everybody wants them because they can do quality work. So I managed to find a guy that can do it locally, and I'm happy with that. So that's been sent out to get fixed. Now, when Steve told me he got this, he did tell me that he got it from a guy out in California, and they had done the restoration work. Well, I will say this. From the outside, it looks really good. I'm not going to lie. It looks really, really good from the outside. It's been painted, new artwork. You know, it looks really, really good from the outside. I can't deny that. But once you start taking it apart, then you start noticing that they kind of cut corners a little bit. And I don't like that. They should have just done it right from all the way through, you know. They made it look good, but there's certain things that they just missed that shouldn't have been missed. So I'll go over them just so you guys can know what to look for. Screws. Put the right screws that go in the right holes. Like, don't put a wrong size. Like, why would you do that? Look, they put a wrong size. They cracked the fiberglass, and then it broke off. Now I can't put a screw in there unless I extract it. And even then, extracting it might be difficult. I might break more of the fiberglass. So it's a pain in the butt. Got to drill it out and figure it out. You see another one here. Another thing, if you lose screws, replace them. Look here. Got a screw here in the middle. Screw all the way down there. Oh, wait. Nothing here. Nothing there. Nothing here. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing there. So it's supposed to be a total of 8 screws, and there's only 2. Why? You can figure it out easily. Look. Oh, I can push it in. It's all loose. Don't do that. Fix it. Do it right. There's no reason for it to be like that. If you lose them, just go to the hardware store and find other ones. And if you can't, go online. You can see here, different size screws all over the place. All over the place. Why? Oh, here's another thing. A rat's nest. Why would you do that? Fix it up. It doesn't take much work to fix that up and make it look nice. And not make it look like this. Like, I can cut up the wires, put some heat shrink tubing, fix it up, make it all look nice and neat, and we're good. We're golden. But no, they did this stuff, and that just looks terrible. Another thing. Well, this is more of a nitpick of my part. If you're going to paint a cabinet, take all the metal parts out of it. Look at all these metal parts. You can see where there was right up there. You can see I can push it off. I'm going to put some of this paint strip on it and clean up all these metal parts so they can look like metal again and not look like just overspray. Oh, another nitpick here. There's 3 screws there, 3 holes to screw that down. There was only 2 screwed on. This middle one wasn't screwed in. Another thing. Don't use electrical tape for permanent fixes. Why would you do that? I mean, I get it. It works. It's okay. It's temporary, not permanent. Like I said, you can solder in, put some heat shrink tubing, makes it look much more better, and it also will not cause issues down the road. Because what will happen? This electrical tape will, over time, start to unravel itself with all the humidity, different changes in temperature, and then you might cause a short. And what if it shorts to ground? Uh-oh, you might fry stuff. No reason to do that. Heat shrink tubing, and you're done. Doesn't take more than a couple minutes. You can see here, stuff is... I didn't touch anything. This is how it is. Look, all these screws are finger tight. Why? No idea. You can see this. They put these in. I don't think these are the original screws. They don't look to be. They're supposed to be flush with the bracket. So they put a lot of non-original screws. You see, most screws should be like this design. They shouldn't be this type of design like this, because they don't apply the pressure flat on this. And they start to bow. They'll start to bow the metal because it's applying the pressure in a weird angle. They're supposed to be all flat like this. And when you start applying these type of screws, you see they start to bow the metal because it's not applying the pressure right across the metal. Another thing I found, so when I removed the monitor, there was only 2 nuts holding down the monitor. And even then they were finger tight. Why would they be finger tight? No idea, maybe during shipment, but there's 4 of them. Why would there only be 2? I checked in here, they didn't fall in there, although I did find a lot of screws, but they were for the control panel, these little ones here, which were missing. I don't know why. But I've put them back on here and we're good to go. I say this, the CRT is heavy, right? And it has like a metal bracket chassis around it. If it only has 2 points bolted in, even at finger tight, what's that going to do with the chassis of the entire fiberglass? It's going to flex whenever you move it. And what is the risk when this flex? Because it is fiberglass, the flexing will cause cracks, stress cracks. And you run the risk of cracking maybe one of these sides because of the flexing. Because you want all 4 sides to be bolted down, that will prevent the shifting, you know, the slight bending of the cabinet to help to prevent the stress cracks from happening. So, like, that's stuff that should not be missed. I know I'm being really nitpicky about it, and nothing happened. You see, it's all there, but like, if you're gonna do restoration work, please do not half-ass it. Do not half-ass it. I cannot stress that enough. Like I can show you here, I'm gonna do not that much to this cabinet, and it's gonna look 10 times better. All right, besides the CRT not working and then working, right? I'm gonna change the audio system to be better. It's not a lot of work. I'm gonna put a better amp. I'm gonna just take apart the power supply, clean it up, change any capacitors, clean it up, just go through it, clean it out. And then, once I'm done cleaning it all up, I'm gonna paint the box black again because it looks like all rusty. And the box will look clean again. Now this wiring, I'm thinking I'm just gonna take it all out, run it through a dishwasher, clean it out really, really good. And if it works really good, then I'll keep it. If not, I can replace it too. And it'll look 10 times better. I'll route it better because a lot of this stuff is not routed properly. You can see there's a lot of places where they didn't route this wiring properly. And it'll just change the look of the build entirely. Like, even just taking these metal brackets out, cleaning, I don't have to polish them, but just you run a metal cleaner on them after you remove all of the overspray, and it will just make a big contrast with the cabinet, the metal with the white. It'll look like, it's a factory look, This just makes it look like, oh, someone just, I'm too lazy to do it, And that 5 or 10 minutes of being lazy and not taking off these brackets, it goes a long way whenever you just put a little bit of extra more time in it. And I tell a lot of people that it's like, would you rather spend like an extra 5-10 minutes and get like 10 times the better quality? Like that, it's a no-brainer. I at least for me. But there's people that don't. They got so much on their plate maybe, and they're just like want to push it out fast. They got so much stuff going on, they just push it out fast. But I mean that comes at the cost of your reputation, I'd say. And that goes a long way, honestly. For me, it has. Like, I put in the extra time to get these arcades in a nice place where they're working, good order, they're routed properly, everything's in the right place. There's no half-assing it, and people appreciate that. I've sold cabinets, I've traded stuff, and people want to trade with me because they know that I do decent work on my stuff. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but I put really good thought into it. And when you do that, people are going to want to do business with you. People are going to want to do trades with you. People are going to want to see what you're up to. Now, I don't care too much about how big I am on YouTube. I care more about like the work that I do is done right. So at the end of the day, guys, I figured I'd cover this. I know it was a little bit of a rant, but at the end of the day, I'm actually very happy with what I got. This is a really good, solid cabinet that just needs that last 10 to 15% to really go the extra mile and make this stand out to be a really, really exceptional build. But I figured I'd show this now to kind of give you the after when I'm done working on it. And you guys can see, like, look, he didn't put that much more work into it, and it turned out 10 times better. And I hope you guys leave with that. That if you guys do that, I think you'll be much more happy with yourselves, with your work, and people will enjoy your builds as well, and they'll want to do business with you. So, as always, you guys have a good one, and let's see how this turns out.